There are two sides to every story. There are two sides to every story, and we forget that. And often the way we hear things, and especially when we talk about countries like North Korea, we hear a very one-sided version of events, and it doesn't even occur to us that there's another side of the story. But if we look at our own history as a country, at a time when we were divided, we can see that there's two sides to that story.
Okay, Caleb Maupin, we talked to you before you came in. We talked about tonight, it's a message of unity, a message of love, a message of understanding, a message of education, a message to move the needle more towards peace and unity within North and South Korea. How did it go tonight?
I think this was tremendous. We had a group of people, from a leftist background, peace activists. We had church members. We had Japanese Americans, Korean Americans. We had Muslim Americans. We had Latinos. This was such a diverse event, packed. There was barely any chairs left, right? And we started out with a song of unity. And then I gave my presentation. Pastor Joshua gave his, some good questions and all of that. There's people from all different age groups here, all different generations, all different backgrounds. This was a success, and I hope this leads to, the Peace Cup being a step toward peace on the Korean Peninsula.
So we work in the same field, right? We work in independent media. You work for a little bit of bigger network. But anyways, our minds are in the same spots, right? And I think a lot of us go to certain people for resources. And certainly when it comes to this, topic, I come to you for a lot of information. You could see a lot of these people tonight, a lot of the Korean people. It means a lot to them. But we also talked about, you had mentioned every single time they play something on TV about North Korea, it's a military thing. I had mentioned this kind of stereotype that everybody in North Korea is like just living under a dictator. They can't use the internet. They can't use anything. How do we move that needle? I know I already asked you that question, but maybe you've had a little time to think about it because this is so important. You see some of these Korean people here, they want this bad. They feel this. They want to reunite with their family, and we're oppressing this country, both countries, South and North. How do we push past this?
The first thing I think that needs to be said is that a country that is locked down and threatened with nukes and fighting for its life is not going to be an open and free society. So if you think the way to make North Korea more free and more open is to threaten military attack, you're just delusional, right? Any country, the times when you lose your freedom is when you're under attack, is when you're feeling threatened. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that North Korea is a very militarized place, but it's still a human place. And there's still, people there, and that's the side of Korea we're not allowed to see. The fact that they have outlawed travel to North Korea, they say they will take your passport if you go there, right? Let us go there and see it for ourselves. Let us go there and be tourists, right? Let us get on a plane and go there and make our own decision about it, right? That's our right as Americans, our freedom to travel, and the Supreme Court has said you have the right to travel. So the State Department has no grounds, just like they took Scott Ritter's passport the other day. Now they're saying, they said 5 or 6 years ago that anyone who goes to North Korea, they'll take your passport, and they have not backed away from it. We need somebody to just do it. Somebody needs to go there, have them take their passport and take it to court. And hopefully somebody can be found to do that. But we need to demand that travel regulation be lifted so we can see it for ourselves.
Last question, it's a little inside one. You had mentioned, and you usually know these things about the economies of what's going on. You talked about the reasons why there was American businessmen that wanted North Korea open up. If North Korea does open up, they get off the sanctions, they get off the blockade, what will we see being created out of North Korea that will be shared with the world?
Well, there is already a railway that goes from South Korea up into North Korea. And there's nothing that can go on it because of the sanctions. It's unused, but it's already there. And there is a plan to extend that railway into China, up into Russia, and all the way over into Europe, into Poland and France and Germany. And that plan for that railway, that proposal, was drawn up during the 1990s. And can you imagine what that would do? Also, Alaska and Siberia, there's the Bering Strait. Right? And there's a proposal that Abraham Lincoln talked about, the World Land Bridge, building a highway there. And could you imagine if we were connected to the Far East, right? Because the East is booming right now, as I said, right? With China, with all that's going on. And America could get some of that wealth. We could get some of that investment. We could get some of that money for ourselves, right? I mean, we're acting like fools here. It's like we don't want to be part of the business if we can't be the boss, right? Well, we might make millions of dollars. Americans might get jobs, but we won't be in charge. So no, we can't do it. We got to get past this mindset. The world is going to keep advancing, and we can't stop human progress just because it means that we won't be the top dog the whole time. That's my attitude.
Caleb, thanks so much. You do great work. Thank you for the education. Keep it going, buddy.
Thank you for coming tonight. I think this was a successful event. I'm very excited about it.
Me too, buddy. Thank you so much.